Okay, welcome back. It's time to take a look at the next medium tank within the Leopard platoon. Now, the Leopard is definitely a very fun tank. It has a very good gun, excellent speed, and overall excellent maneuverability, but its whole armor isn't really that good, and it has a very odd ammo placing, so if you do get penetrated from the front, the tank usually blows up. Now, the tank that I'll be driving today is the M48A2C, and this is quite a different tank from the Leopard. While the Leopard has a very good gun and has very good speed, the M48A2C has very good armor, much better armor than the Leopard. Even the T54 has issues to penetrate the frontal armor of this tank, but this does come at a cost, and your top speed is reduced to 48 km/h, and its reverse is 8 km/h. Specific power is 17 horsepower per ton. It has a 90mm main cannon, although it does say that the 90mm does penetrate a bit more than the Leopard. The stock ammo that you get from this tank isn't really that impressive. So you will struggle with this tank at penetrating the frontal armor of most vehicles with the stock ammo. But once you upgrade the tank and when you upgrade the platoon, you will unlock better ammo, and when you do that, this tank is going to be quite lethal. Although it does have fantastic armor, but it also does have some very interesting maneuverability. I was very surprised when I took out this tank for a spin, because it is very agile. It does rotate quite fast, so it has some similarities with the Leopard. Although the Leopard, I feel like the Leopard still has a better main gun, but the M48 has better overall armor and overall better survivability, since its ammo isn't really stored in very down locations. Now, the side armor, of course, isn't that thick, so you should definitely avoid showing the side armor on any tank. But frontal armor, if angled at the right way, is really hard to penetrate. And well, with that being said, let me show you some gameplay. Now, the M48 does feel a little bit easier to drive. It seems like this tank doesn't have the same gearbox problem that the Leopard has. On the Leopard, sometimes when you want to move around, the driver sometimes misses the gear and your tank just sits there awkwardly. But with this vehicle, I haven't noticed that problem, which is quite interesting. I mean, the details that they put into the vehicles is pretty impressive. They went all the way down, even to the actual transmission. They replicated how the whole thing works. I love that. That's just impressive. Now, as I mentioned before, this tank has quite decent maneuverability. It does reach top speed very quickly. It also does move around, I would say, very quickly. In some cases, I feel like this tank does rotate faster than the Leopard, which is interesting, although it is not as fast in the reverse gear as the Leopard, which can be quite a disadvantage on this vehicle in some situations, because with the Leopard you can shoot and quickly go back. That is, if the driver of the tank does hit the gear correctly. If not, well, you'll be just sitting there awkwardly. But with this vehicle, I haven't really noticed that problem. It does kind of handle like a T54, but with much better maneuverability. And overall, I would say in some cases does feel like this tank has better armor, although the main gun on the very start can be a little bit problematic, since you don't really have a lot of penetration with the APC BC shells. As you can see, I might yeah, I think I might not even be able to penetrate the frontal turret of the Tiger II, which has the flattest surface. Yeah, I can't penetrate the frontal turret armor of the Tiger II from the front. So you will have vehicles that you simply will not be able to penetrate with the stock ammo. Of course, down the road, when you unlock better ammo, this is not going to be a problem. So at first the start might be a little bit clumsy, so that is something that you should keep in mind. But when the shell does penetrate, it does some decent damage. It is not as good as the APHE shell on the T54, which just have some very good penetration. Now, that's a T54. I hit the side armor, I hit the engine. That's a Leopard. Usually the Leopards die in one hit because they have very, very thin armor, and overall the ammo is stored all over the tank, and the T54 got killed in the second hit. Fuel exploded. Interesting. Sometimes you might even struggle to penetrate the Panther, which is kinda awkward, but it is something that can happen. So with the stock ammo, you really should be aiming at the weak spots of the targets, or you should try to flank the enemies, because in most cases you might struggle to penetrate the frontal armor on the vast majority of high tier vehicles, which isn't really that much of a problem, since this tank is quite maneuverable and overall it does feel very fun to drive. Now you see this top machine gun, the top turret on the M48. It isn't really a weak spot. I've been hit there many times, and so far nothing did any damage. It felt like the shells just bounced when they hit. So while the mini turrets can be a weak spot on some vehicles like Tortoise, on this vehicle it isn't really a big problem, although I would be careful around high caliber, high explosive shells, because I believe that high caliber explosive shells might be able to overpressure the top of the tank. I haven't tried it out, haven't experienced it yet, but I believe that a high caliber, high explosive shell should easily be able to overpressure that mini turret port on top of the tank. But so far no AP shell has done any damage when it hit me there, so it could be counted as a weak spot in some other games, but in this game it doesn't seem to be the case, which is a good thing, since it would be very annoying to have this turret just peeking on top of the tank asking to be shot at. In some other games that usually is the weak spot, and that's where you usually would be shot at. Now overall, very interesting first match. Now you can't really rotate the turret all the way back, because if you do that, because of the engine compartment, which is kind of raised above the tank, you can't really lower the gun that well. So you can't really do the engine at the front thing, because the engine is quite tall and it will definitely get in the way of the gun. Same thing happens on the Leopard as well. Now I actually kind of mastered this map. I figured out a very decent tactic. Usually on early game I look around this position here, and you have this road basically does look over zone A. It kind of intercepts tanks that are rushing to the base. You could get some very good side shots, but you know, of course, your shots have to get to the target and they have to hit the right spot. Which, if this was a different shell, it wouldn't be a problem, but since I am playing this tank stock, it is performing a little bit differently, so I have to really aim at the weak spots. Now once the match does go, I cross the roads and you see this pizza sign. This is where you can turn and have a good view on the zone, and from this point you can actually put some very good shots at the enemy team. Of course it doesn't matter because APC BC shells, stock ammo on this thing, and since my side armor is quite weak, I'm definitely not going to peek around the corner. It's not a good idea. The best thing I can do here is turn around and try to flank these tanks. Now I'm just going to... oh look, a panther. This is why I didn't turn around immediately, because I knew that there was something, that someone would pop around the corner. So I guess turning around is no longer an option. There is a panther in the corner. A panther, why do I call a leopard panther? That's a leopard. So now I might... oh, and there is a tank behind us as well. Okay, let's put the smoke screen and let's go back. The tank does get smoke screen. Okay, shot at the sides. Nice. You can also do a handbrake turn very easily in this thing. It does respond really well to the handbrake turns. The Leopard still has the same engine and gearbox issue for some reason. So yeah, I always expect this tank to not start when I go in reverse, but thankfully that's not the case. That was a IS-2, also destroyed. Let's go and capture zone B. Let's get some more points, I would say. This tank does feel a lot more playable than the Leopard for sure. Definitely different gameplay style as well, but overall still a very fun tank. Both are very interesting vehicles. Okay, base captured, and now let me see, where should I go? I think this tank also has a infrared view, so when they do add night battles, you can use the infrared to see tanks, which is awesome. Immobilized the Yak Tiger. The Yak Tiger can technically penetrate you, so always be careful on these things. They have a very nasty 128mm gun that can just wreck. Now where should I go next? Let me see. We're losing zone A. I might go to zone A, but at the same time I might go and roam around the city a little bit, see if I can find some... There's one tank. Okay, I'm slowly approaching. Yeah, I'm very close to the enemy team, that's not good. There's a T10A, shot at the side turrets, ammunition exploded. Very nice kill. There's a tortoise. Now this tank is a bit clunky, it is definitely big, so that was a bad shot, hit the front armor of the tortoise, but my teammate managed to put one shell in the side and that was enough. One APHE shell in the side armor of a tortoise is usually enough to put it out of its misery. Now, I think I might drop the smoke screen and I will rotate and go the other way, since I'm very close to the enemy team here and don't wanna risk that. So, oh, that was a victory. Nice, a pretty solid one as well. So definitely already having much more success with this tank. Although I have to say, this map didn't take that much to learn, but there was just so many details all over the map, so it kind of gets confusing at first, but not that bad now. Alright, let's go to the next round. Now here you can actually take advantage of the very good turret armor on this thing and park right here. You keep the lower plate safe and only the turret is basically visible, and a small part of the frontal armor is visible, but they can't really penetrate that, so not going to be a problem. I also love how the tracks of that heavy tank ate the shell and didn't do anything. That should have been a kill, but I guess not. And this missed the turret. It hit the frontal armor. That's definitely not going to go through. The Tiger popped the smoke screen. Now everything is kind of hidden, which means that I can just wait for a little bit and see what pops out of the smoke. It reminds me of the movie The Mist. You don't know what kind of monster crawls out of the fog. A T54. Shot it below the tracks, and that was a nice hit. Now let's see, I could technically go towards zone A, but it will leave my flanks quite exposed, which is not a very good idea with this tank. The side armor isn't really good, so you don't want to show that to anyone. There is one tank somewhere beyond that building, and there's also one more tank headed towards side. I think I'll have to go towards A. Might pop smoke and just go. Yeah, let's just pop smoke and let's go. Since someone has to, and I definitely don't want to leave the team completely exposed to their sides. Now, there's two more tanks very close to me. Have to eliminate the tank that's basic up front. These two that are near the base aren't a big problem. That tank is a T54. Well, I did not want to penetrate the lower plate where it usually should penetrate, which is fine. Bad luck does have its effect. Now the T54 is fast, and that was a bad shot. Scratched the hood basically, but I think now I have a good shot at the rear turret, and there we go. Ammunition exploded. Now we can go and hopefully capture the zone and perhaps destroy some more tanks that are around the zone. There was one tank around the zone, not really sure what happened to it. We're about to find out anyway. Okay, the tank is destroyed, which means I can go in and capture the base. There we go, nice. Now I could technically stay here, but I think I'll advance, or maybe I'll pop the smoke screen, since there's a good chance that some tanks are going to try to flank us. Yeah, let's pop the smoke screen. There we go. They can't see us, we can see them. They'll have to approach us if they want to see us. Whoops, friendly tiger, did not see that one. Okay. Let's turn around and let's go deeper into the enemy territory. Now let's see. Oh, it's a Death Star. Well, now it's a dead Death Star. Kind of funny. Right in the ammo. That was a big explosion. That was a big boom. Someone attempted to capture the zone B. Well, seems they're dead. There's 2 more tanks, 4 more tanks actually. Can I penetrate the T95? Nope. I guess even the side armor on that thing is too much for this cannon. Yeah, I can't. But well, I guess I can actually. I can penetrate the side armor of the T95, but only in that specific spot. That was a nice match. Let's go to the next one. Same map, looks like same position. Let's see if it's going to be the same results. Well, I acquired my tactical position, and let's see if anything or anyone comes around a corner. Now, as I mentioned before, the frontal turret on this thing is really strong, so you don't really have to worry about the turrets. But that's a M103. If this was the T54, this tank would have been already dead. But since it isn't, and I don't have better ammo, I can't really do much to the M103. So I have to be patient. Patience is key. Now, I could try to shoot at the commander. I could potentially penetrate at the top of the tank, but not really sure how much damage it would do. Panther immobilized. It also did some damage inside, which is surprising. Second shell. It bounced the Panther somehow for some reason. Let me aim a little bit higher, which should be in the turret. There we go. Panther destroyed. Nice. Now that M103 does not like me for some reason. They're looking at me. But it's fine. I think I should be covered, protected by this rock in front of me. And there's a Panther F. Hit in the turret. Very good hit in the turret. Wonder if they will attempt to advance and capture the base. I think we will see that very soon. I'm just moving up and down, making it very hard for the M103 to aim at my turret, since I still don't know if they can do some damage to my turret from the top thing on top of the turret. Can't penetrate even the lower plate on the M103. Only chance for me is to get a view on the side armor, and maybe then it will be able to kill it. But in any case, another Panther killed. There is a T54. I missed. A T95, definitely not going to be able to penetrate the frontal armor on that thing, so let's focus on... I could shoot at it, but I wouldn't do much to it. But I can kill that, so I'll shoot the T44. There's a yak tiger over there, and I could have killed it. Well, that would be a very good shot if it would actually hit, but it didn't. So not a big deal. A tortoise. If I manage to hit the turret, I might be able to kill it, but if not, then perfect! Perfect hit. Nice. Ammunition exploded right in the weak spot. That was a perfect hit. Yak Tiger is over there, I think. Yeah, let's not get out of cover, let's go back. The T95 can still kill me from the side very easily. Well, I tried, but apparently I can't penetrate the commander's cupola, so let me try to kill the track. Well, I guess I can't do damage to that as well, kinda funny. I mean, it is a T95, these things are just built to be tanky, they're bricks, so not really a big surprise on that. Yeah, how did that not kill it? That's stupid. That tiger should have been dead, but it isn't. Lucky. And that hit the side armor, but nothing happened. Okay then. The tiger got lucky twice, I guess. There's a T54, a T95. I'm getting slowly surrounded. Someone shot at me but did no damage. Okay, I can kill the T54. There we go, nice. They tried to shoot at my turrets, but failed. Well, actually they did hit, but they didn't do any damage. Nope. That thing is looking at me. That thing is... Oh, okay. And that little guy popped in. Now the T114 is using heat ammo, rocket propelled grenades to be more accurate. And heat ammo is known to be not that good, as you can see, since I'm still alive. So yeah, kind of funny how that happened, but that's heat ammo for you. If it were APDS, I would probably be dead, but heat ammo just, you know, it's... I don't really like it. I mean, it's still good, but I'm not really a fan of the heat ammo. It doesn't usually do a lot of damage. It's a hit or miss, basically. And that's one more kill and the match ended. That was a fun one. Honestly. So that was the M48. So definitely a easier tank to drive than the Leopard, but I feel like the Leopard has a much better gun. But overall, both vehicles are so far really fun, and I enjoyed both of them. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.